U.S. Army Corps of Engineers moving ahead with plans to try and protect water systems upriver as the freshwater drinking supplies are already threatened at Boothville and Venice.
And they are now looking for dredging contractors to build an underwater dam, which is expected to alleviate the current emergency. Rob Masson has more.
This is unprecedented. For the second time in less than a year, the Corps is committing to spend about $10 million to build an underwater sill here at Myrtle Grove to keep a saltwater wedge from moving further upriver, threatening water supplies.
We're going to be building the sill around Myrtle Grove. We've identified that as kind of that prime area to construct the sill. We've got a deep enough riverbed.
The Corps has now activated its emergency operations plan to monitor the saltwater wedge and potential navigational issues that could arise from the low river.
And so basically right now it's to make sure that everyone has access to fresh drinking water. So that's the purpose of the underwater sill, and so we just like the public to know that we are going into action.
The saltwater wedge has made drinking water unsafe at the low end of the river in Boothville and Venice, especially for people with certain medical conditions.
I've got confidence in the Corps. They're very receptive of everything that's, they realize what kind of situation that we're in.
The parish has trucked in 200,000 bottles of water being distributed at firehouses in Boothville and Venice as they work with the Corps to protect freshwater supplies further upriver. And the Corps wants to have contractors in place in 7 days to block the saltwater's upriver push with that new sill.
We look for different contractors that are dredging in the area, possibly for us to be able to find units that can build the underwater sill.
Corps officials say even though the gauge is reading 1.6 feet at Carrollton, the river below Baton Rouge is still deep.
We talk about numbers of it's 1 foot or it's half foot. That's above sea level. So this river in South Louisiana is a minimum of 45 foot deep. When you're looking at areas like Algiers Point, it's 190 feet deep. So it's still 1 million gallons per second moving through this area. So it's still a very dangerous river. I know a lot of people want to get out and be close to it, but still be safe. It hasn't gotten any safer just because it's lower.
Meantime, Plaquemines Parish officials are working to alleviate the problem long term by putting in extra pump booster stations to allow good fresh water collected upriver at Belle Chase to be sent downriver through the parish's water system to fill all the parish's freshwater needs. But that process could take more than a month. From Belle Chase, Rob Masson, Fox 8 Local First.